Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Daily Market Report brought to you by Mike Bjork, and happy Friday. It's Friday, March 2nd here. Kind of light day in terms of economic data. Today we just got the consumer sentiment for the month of February. So we had two reports here. The initial one came in at 99.9. Forecast for the final forecast is supposed to be at 99.5, and it came in the middle there at 99.7. So still very good numbers here. People are still feeling very good about where things are moving. In general here. So let's kind of jump ahead here to the headline news. Stock market is down again. We had yesterday we had Fed Chair Jerome Powell talking to the Senate Banking Committee yesterday. It's sounded a little less hawkish, but again, they're still wanting to know if there's going to be 4 rate hikes in 2018. So that's still on the back of their heads. But the big one was the bomb that came in later in the day was. President Trump now taking tariffs on steel and aluminum to protect American interests here. So, of course, that's not going well on a global level. You know, from the European community to our neighbors in Mexico and Canada to China, all very upset about this action. And of course, now we're kind of expecting some type of retaliation in this area. And again, we don't know over long term if this is going to be good for us or not. But I guess we'll have to just ride this through. The concern is with the rise of steel production that things are going to go up like automobiles. Thus, that's going to be passed on to the consumer, raising inflation. So it kind of again leads us in a roundabout way back to inflation, which again with inflation could slow us down a little bit because the Fed's going to fight against it by raising interest rates, which would raise the cost of borrowing for businesses from growing for further, so it slows them down a little bit. So this is where all the talk comes around in a roundabout way here, but the end result is concern about inflation and cost and the rate of possible further rate hikes here to slow things down a little bit. So let's take a look here at the bond market to see what's doing. As we saw, we were up. We had a little bit of a rally yesterday as the news. So what was happening was the money came out of the stock market after turned at a negative. It came into the bond market. We did pretty well. We even came up pretty close to the 25-day moving average, which we haven't been in a little while. We haven't really been by this 25-day moving average since about beginning of January. So almost 2 months before we've seen it. So in any case, we came close to it. We were up today. So far, we're down. We're testing the floor here. We're down about 23 basis points. It keeps kind of climbing down, so it's further. We could again continue this or it may sell down towards later in the day. We'll have to kind of wait and see. But so far, it's not liking the news in the bond market here, and of course, this means our rates have went up a little bit from where we left off yesterday. Now, excuse me, here's the Treasury. Treasury is coming back a little bit. The Treasury did test the 25-day moving average. It did sell it below it, but because there's tariff news and the money being repositioned, it's going upwards. We're up to about 2.85, I believe it is right now. So we're at 2.85, whereas before, yesterday we touched base at 2.8 yesterday, and today we're up about 2.85 so far. All right, so again, get ready. We could have next week's gonna be a little quieter. Next week, later in the week, will be the big week because we'll have the jobs numbers coming out for the month of February. We're kind of expecting almost a good number here because if you notice the initial jobless claims, they've all been really low, around 220 range, and then we had that dip down to 210,000. So we may have a good jobs number here. So be prepared. Market. It could go either way. Sometimes good news is bad news, and bad news is good news, and we'll kind of have to see how the market reacts. But just be prepared for some volatility, continued volatility here. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks so much for watching. We'll look forward to see you guys on Monday. But if you guys want more data throughout the day, see where the market closes, just go over to Twitter. I do post on there underneath my handle, Mike Bjork. All right, you guys have a good one. We'll look forward to see you guys next week. Bye-bye.